Today, the eyes of all Muslims around the world are fixed on one human figure, the Mahdi. Everyone is waiting for when Imam Mahdi will appear and lead the Muslims so that they can rule over the entire world. But everyone wants to know, when will Imam Mahdi come? Is the appearance of Imam Mahdi only mentioned in Muslim books, or have predictions of his coming also been made in the books of other religions around the world? And most importantly, how will Imam Mahdi confront the superpowers of today's world? Let's start by understanding the word Mahdi. It means the guided one, referring to a person who will lead people out of oppression and guide them to justice. This concept existed in the world even before the time of Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him. Thousands of years before him, during the time of Prophet Noah peace be upon him, when people had become extremely corrupt, engaging in idol worship, corruption, oppression, and injustice, some righteous people were still alive. They prayed to Allah to send someone who could give humanity a new direction. Allah accepted their prayers and sent Prophet Noah peace be upon him. He preached to people for 950 years, but humanity became even worse and refused to listen to him, except for a few righteous individuals. So, Allah commanded Prophet Noah to build an ark. He prepared the ark and took a pair of every species of animal with him. After that, a great flood came, which destroyed those people. Prophet Noah and his followers then started a new. Centuries after Prophet Noah, humanity fell into idol worship again. At that time, books also mentioned that a person would come who would be Allah's messenger. That person was Prophet Abraham peace be upon him. He abandoned idol worship and preached monotheism, guiding people to the right path. Many centuries after Prophet Abraham, the children of Israel grew in large numbers in Egypt and began to prosper. However, at that time, Egypt was ruled by Pharaoh, who felt threatened by the children of Israel. He enslaved them and oppressed them greatly. For many years, the children of Israel suffered under this oppression and prayed to Allah to send a prophet who could free them from slavery. Allah sent Prophet Moses peace be upon him to them. Prophet Moses defeated Pharaoh and freed the children of Israel. Centuries after Prophet Moses, during the time of Prophet Jesus peace be upon him, the children of Israel were under Roman rule in Palestine, and corrupt Jewish priests were their leaders. No prophet had come to them for a long time. The children of Israel were awaiting a Messiah, and their books also predicted his coming, which are still written in the Bible today. Then, that Messiah came in the form of Prophet Jesus peace be upon him. However, the children of Israel conspired against him, and Allah raised Prophet Jesus to the heavens.
After Prophet Jesus, when corruption spread in Arabia, Jewish books predicted the coming of a great prophet. Just as Muslims today await Imam Mahdi, the Jews at that time were waiting for that prophet. These predictions are still written in the Bible today. Then, Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him announced his prophethood. The concept of a Messiah was already present among the children of Israel. For this reason, one of Islam's greatest scholars and poets, Allama Iqbal, did not believe in the concept of Imam Mahdi. He believed that Muslims had adopted this concept from Jews and Christians. During the Abbasid Caliphate, when Muslims were facing oppression, the idea spread among them that a Messiah would soon come to set everything right. Allama Iqbal argued that waiting for a Messiah while enduring oppression was very dangerous, which is why he rejected the concept of Imam Mahdi. Not only Allama Iqbal but also Ibn Khaldun, a scholar and philosopher, was skeptical about the authenticity of hadiths related to Imam Mahdi. However, if we look closely, hadiths about Imam Mahdi are found in almost every major hadith collection, except Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Both Sunni and Shia books contain many hadiths with authentic chains of narration. Not only in Islam but also in the books of every major religion today, predictions about a Messiah exist. For example, in Mesopotamia, there is mention of a shepherd who will be a Messiah. In Egypt, there is mention of a mysterious person who will revive the earth. Similarly, in Zoroastrianism, there is mention of a person named Zarathustra who will be born in the final times and fight a great war. In Hinduism, they believe in an avatar who will come during the Kali Yuga, riding a white horse with a sword in hand, fighting against oppression and spreading righteousness worldwide. In Buddhism, there is mention of a person named Maitreya who will come when people turn away from religion, spreading truth and guiding the world to the right path. Similarly, Jews also believe in a Messiah. Even the U.S. President, Joe Biden, knows about Imam Mahdi, and Netanyahu also knows that Muslims will re-establish a caliphate. Those who control the global economy, claiming to have the strongest economy in the world, and possess data on every Muslim today, how can a single person defeat them all? Especially when, before Imam Mahdi's appearance, the situation will become even more difficult. There will be oppression in Syria, as is happening today. After years of lying dormant, the civil war in Syria is suddenly dynamic again. The Dajjal's system will already be in place, and Greater Israel will have been established. As Netanyahu himself has shown to the world, the whole Middle East changes. We tear down the walls of enmity. We bring the possibility of prosperity and peace to this entire region. By then, Palestine will only be mentioned in history books. India may become entirely Muslim.
During the time of Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him, there were only 313 Muslims at the Battle of Badr, after which a new chapter of Islam began. Similarly, Imam Mahdi will have 313 special companions who will be righteous, intelligent, strong, and devout. Many hadiths mention that these will be people unknown to the world, but Allah will grant them a high status. One of these individuals will have the knowledge of 40 people. They will not only be leaders but also commanders, scholars, and thinkers. When they pledge allegiance to Imam Mahdi, they will help him build an army. When Imam Mahdi appears, Muslims living a righteous life will join him to support him, especially from regions like Khorasan, Yemen, Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, because these countries are in a dire state today due to U.S. interventions. The U.S. attacked Syria in September 2011, leading to years of war, and Syria's condition is now dire. Similarly, the U.S. invaded Iraq in 2003, leaving it in ruins. The U.S. fought in Afghanistan for years, and today Afghanistan is plagued by poverty. In March, the U.S. conducted airstrikes in Yemen, its largest military operation, because Yemen stands with Palestine and attacks Israeli ships. Pakistan is also secretly controlled by the U.S. through its military. However, Iran is the only country currently challenging the U.S. and Israel, which Israel considers a major threat. What's the greatest threat right now that Israel faces? Iran, Iran. The U.S. also acknowledges Iran's strength. When asked why the U.S. doesn't attack Iran despite its weakness, Trump said, "They are very strong right now, and we are not." During the Prophet's time, Khorasan included parts of modern-day Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, and other regions. Today, only Iran has a province still called Khorasan. The Prophet peace be upon him said that armies from Khorasan, waving black flags, will come to support Imam Mahdi. This is why Iran will likely be the only country to support him, especially since Iran is secretly developing nuclear weapons, which neither the US nor Israel wants. Iran is not ever getting nuclear weapons. If Iran becomes a nuclear power, it will join Pakistan as an Islamic country with nuclear capabilities, making it untouchable by the US and Israel. Iran is the only country with an Islamic system and is actively awaiting Imam Mahdi's appearance, while Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries align with the US. Saudi Arabia even sells oil to Israel, which is used in rockets fired at Palestinians, and maintains a monarchical system. When armies from Khorasan support Imam Mahdi, the world will realize that a powerful figure is rising in Arabia, posing a threat to Western countries. Western media will label Imam Mahdi a terrorist, and NATO countries, led by the US and Israel, will send an army against him, led by a figure called Sufyani. Sufyani will be a fitna trial, backed by Western powers. He will be a cunning and ruthless person, an enemy of the Prophet's followers, emerging from Syria and descending from Muawiyah. He will cause massacres in Iraq and Syria. Imam Ali peace be upon him said, Sufyani will emerge from Syria, with red skin, light hair, and a mark on his face. He will destroy mosques and kill the followers of the Prophet peace be upon him. Imam Bakr peace be upon him said, Sufyani will appear in the same year as Imam Mahdi. Imam Jafar Sadiq peace be upon him said, Sufyani will appear 15 months before Imam Mahdi. Imam Zain al-Abidin peace be upon him said, when Sufyani appears, people's hearts will be filled with fear, and he will kill women and children in Iraq and Syria. Sufyani's personality will resemble Muawiyah's, as if Muawiyah has returned. Like Muawiyah, who was a governor in Syria with many supporters, Sufyani will also emerge from Syria. Just as Imam Ali's capital was Kufa, Sufyani will attack Kufa. Imam Jafar Sadiq peace be upon him said, before Imam Mahdi's appearance, there will be a civil war in Syria, after which Sufyani will emerge. Syria has been in a civil war for years, which the US exploited to attack it. With Syria's current state and the presence of terrorist leaders, when Imam Mahdi appears, Sufyani will lead an army against him. A great battle will take place between Imam Mahdi and Sufyani, On one side will be Imam Mahdi, from the Prophet's lineage, and on the other, Sufyani, from Muawiyah's lineage. Imam Mahdi will defeat and kill Sufyani. After Sufyani's death, Imam Mahdi's power will grow in Arabia, and more people will support him. His 313 companions will each lead thousands or millions of soldiers. Many organizations will join Imam Mahdi, and at that time, he will attack India due to the oppression of Muslims there, conquering it. This will establish Imam Mahdi as a global leader. NATO will then sign a peace treaty with him, as Europe and the US will face another threat besides Imam Mahdi, prompting them to make an agreement with him. But peace be upon him said, "There will be a peace treaty between you and the Romans, after which you will fight alongside them against a common enemy. Who this enemy will be is unclear, but it could be Zionists, as they will be enemies of both Muslims and others. Imam Mahdi, alongside other countries, will fight this enemy, and Muslims and Christians will win. After the victory, while Muslims and non-Muslims rest, a Christian will raise a cross and claim, 'This is the victory of Christianity, not Muslims.' Muslims will break the cross, showing it is Allah's victory. This will break the treaty with Western countries, leading them to prepare a massive army against Imam Mahdi. This will be a massive war, with Western countries wielding high-tech AI weapons, drones, missiles, and fighter jets. When Muslims see their army, the Prophet peace be upon him said, 1/3 of the Muslim army will flee, and Allah will never forgive them. 1/3 will be martyred, becoming the best martyrs of that time. 1/3 will win, and Allah will never test them again. This dangerous war will occur near Syria or on the banks of the Euphrates, where a war in Syria recently took place. After winning, Muslims will head to Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, meaning Istanbul will be taken from Muslims before Imam Mahdi's time. Constantinople is a significant city in Muslim history. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "You will conquer Constantinople, and its conqueror and army will be excellent." In 1453, Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror fulfilled this prophecy, as we discussed in a previous video. Some scholars, like Allama Iqbal, believe this prophecy was fulfilled during Sultan Mehmet's time, while others argue the Prophet referred to Imam Mahdi's conquest of Constantinople. When Imam Mahdi leads his army toward Constantinople, they will chant Allahu Akbar so loudly that it will echo far, terrifying the enemy, who will surrender the city without a fight. As Muslims collect the spoils of this war, news will arrive that the Dajjal Antichrist has appeared. This will be Satan, causing discord among Muslims by claiming, "The Dajjal has taken over your homes." Muslims will panic, and Imam Mahdi will lead his army back to Syria or Iraq to save people. Upon arriving, they will find the Dajjal truly present. Then, Prophet Jesus peace be upon him will appear, which we will discuss in future videos. But the biggest question is, what signs will appear before Imam Mahdi's arrival? The Prophet peace be upon him said, "Before Imam Mahdi, the earth will be filled with oppression." This is evident today in Palestine, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, and Kashmir, where oppression prevails. Puppet governments, controlled by Zionists, rule Muslim countries. Interest-based economies dominate the world, Muslims are labeled terrorists, and scholars sell their faith for wealth. The earth is indeed filled with oppression. The Prophet also said, "Before Mahdi, fitna's trials will come like dark nights. A person will be a believer in the morning and a hypocrite by night." Today, the greatest fitnas are in Arabia, where wars rage constantly, and media spreads massive propaganda, making it hard to discern truth from lies. However, some predictions have not yet been fulfilled. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "Before Imam Mahdi, a man will emerge from Yemen, calling people to truth in Imam Mahdi. When he appears, selling weapons to Muslims will be forbidden, and he will come during Sufyani's time." Currently, Yemen's Houthi group supports Palestine, claiming descent from Al-Bayt, and destroys Israeli ships passing through Yemen. This man could be among them. The Prophet also said, "A great fire will appear from the east, visible for 3 nights, causing fear among people." This could be a nuclear explosion, as Iran, in Arabia's east, is secretly developing nuclear weapons, which the US and Israel fear. If Iran conducts a major nuclear test, it will terrify people, and media will cover it for 3 days, as the Prophet predicted. Imam Jafar Sadiq peace be upon him said, 15 days before Imam Mahdi's appearance, a man named Nafs Zakiyah will be killed near the Kaaba. He will likely be an Islamic activist calling people to truth.